Well, it's been a little while. I took a bit of a hiatus there, I gotta be honest. But I'm back. I'm back to making some Solo Quester videos. Thanks for the newbies that have subscribed. Really awesome. I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, I took a little break. I got weighted down with real world stuff and work. I've been getting an excessively large amount of hours at work, but for the job I'm doing. But anyway, I wanted to show you something. I'm going to take a little break from the Lethal Weapon Christmas Cop nights. But I'm going to come back to that though, because I'm doing something special there, which I'll come back to. What I've been doing is something rather unique, and it's for myself, but it can easily you can easily do this yourself if you are motivated. And I've been reading a few books, and some of them are self-help, but it can comply to almost anything you want to understand or read, and that is educational games. And I've made 2 educational games, and they're still kind of in their beta phase prototype. And this will give you a kind of a interesting way of looking at learning something that is complicated. And what I've done here is that I DM a 5th edition campaign with some friends of mine, and when I'm not doing that, I'm solo questing. But 5th edition has been a bit of a learning curve for them and me. I've DM'd other editions like 2nd and 3rd, but sometimes we all find ourselves thinking, oh, what page is that on? So I've taken it upon myself to become better as a dungeon master and learn and really get the rules down, like all the idiosyncrasies and have all that down by creating a board game, an educational board game. So what I've done here, I'll show you the game board. I've tried to make things as simple as I could. I know maybe it doesn't look simple, but I have a start right here. I have a start panel button, or whatever you want to say, space, start space. And here is combat. The action, these letters, I'm trying to make it like a dungeon. And what these letters are, so look at A for ability, I for improv, a scenario. S is for story dice challenge, so I roll up a small mini situation story for myself to help with my DM skills or storytelling skills. Combat card, I'll get to that in a minute. Trap, mythic challenge, P for puzzle, and L for monster lair. So all those are here. Eventually I'll draw on the details to make this look like stonework and all that. But basically, what this educational game is, it's a flashcard game. So, combat. I want to remind myself all the rules of combat in 5th edition. So, this is great for newbies to 5th edition and D&D in general. Because, to be honest, there's a lot to it if you're learning it for the first time. So I printed a cheat sheet online, and I'll see if I can find the website that I got this from. And it's got all the combat rules on one sheet. It's great to have. I laminated it. But I'm like, wouldn't this be good if I just kind of made this into a bunch of flashcards and made it into a game? So that's what I did. So these all have to do with combat. So when my character, whatever class of character, say I'll play play a ranger, right? When that character, I'll roll 6-sider, see how far he goes. Okay, all right. Say he lands on this one. Okay. Well, which one is that? That is, and I know the token's a little bit too big for the space, but to C. Well, that means combat card. So I pick a combat card, and I read it, and I try to guess what's in these blanks, so I can help myself remember it. Remember the rules. This is initiative variant, optional. The monster uses the passive dexterity check, which is check plus, let's see, passive dexterity check at 10 plus, I'd say, dexterity modifier, and it can be used for the group. And then compare it to the PC's initiative rolls or group roll to see which side goes first. So they're all full of those. These, every time a character lands on C, he's got to do it. And so I'm still kind of working on this. This is kind of like you can play it as you work and still, learn and improve it. That every time I get a combat card correct, I can say, okay, you get 3 silver pieces or 3 gold pieces, right? Or if I get one wrong, maybe I get a disadvantage against a monster or something to that effect. Something that has to do with the rule system of 5th edition, just so it helps me memorize what the mechanics of everything. And because I want to get the mechanics down so good that I don't even have to think about them anymore, or try to look anything up if I can help it, or do a home rule but inconsistently. So yeah, all these are different, and every time I land in a C card, I pick a new one to kind of memorize the rules, the combat rules. Movement. Move up to your blank movement speed in increments of blank feet, including diagonally. So I know it's 5 feet. Move up to your character's movement speed. And so I could be right, I could be wrong. I'll look at the cheat sheet as the answer guide. So move up to your full movement speed. So I was wrong. So I would say, okay, you get a disadvantage, or you lose money somehow, or you get sick, or something like that. So there's plus and minuses for getting things right and wrong. And I'll give myself, first level hit points, something like that. And so these are ability cards, and so every time I land on an A, say, where's an A here? Right there. All right. I gotta pick an ability card. So I'll leave these cards as different parts on the board to try to keep room for them. There's not a lot of room on the board for these, but I'll keep them off the map here. As you can see, I still have to draw on this part of the map. And abilities. Okay, I'll read an ability. When hiding, the DM compares the PC's dex check with the searcher's passive passive perception wisdom score. Okay, example: dex check rolls 15. Enemy's passive score is 10 plus any modifiers, perception modifiers equals 16. So the PC is seen because it trumps the dex check. And then that's how I'll learn the game, the mechanics more. The more I play, the more I'll learn and get better at just getting it down in my head. In the meantime, I got different things like the I means improvise a scenario. So I can use maybe something from my Mythic emulator. I can use something from my story dice if I want, or I can come up with my I have my little yellow book of tables that I can roll up, or something to that effect, and or I could just improv and come up with something in my own head. Maybe have a timer, you know, of how fast I have to do it. I got one of those hourglass sand timers, and yeah, puzzle. Come up with a table of puzzles, you know, maybe on my own or from somewhere that I can use in the campaign. And so it's going to be an actual game where you have to roll, you know, to beat a monster, but you have certain, you know, it's like D&D, you have your pluses and, you know, and advantage and disadvantage to defeat them. And every time you get a card right, it adds to your money, it adds to your, maybe your health, you get a potion from it. Trap, come up with a trap that you then have to disarm by rolling. So it's kind of a improv and creative game for learning the rules for one, and then learning how to improv more and be comfortable improving. And yeah, I have little mini boss slayers that I can go in and fight. So I want to make it an interesting game in itself, so I can switch the cards out if I need to, or it could just be played, you know, as a fun little board game. So, but yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been inspired to make these games. I have 3 other games that one I've kind of modeled off Monopoly a little bit, and Cash Flow by Robert Kiyosaki, and another one is, yeah, well, it has to do with creative writing, and that's a whole nother video. But thanks for watching. I'll probably do a few more parts of these and show you more as I go. And sorry it's not Hero Quest, but it's kind of inspired by that a little bit. And yeah, thanks for watching. Keep solo questing. Good to be back. Keep watching and keep solo questing.